as time kind of went by, I noticed myself mellowing out a little bit, and I like it better.
A good day is today, babe.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Joey J. Ping here, checking in live, respectmyregion.com, here on another episode of RMR TV. We've got a special guest, Dazy Lyn, checking in here with me today. We're at the Catalyst Dispensary and Consumption Lounge in Hawthorne. Appreciate them for hosting us. Dazy, welcome to the show. How you living today?
I'm doing great.
Doing great.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking.
All right.
I am excited to learn a little bit about you as a person, your music, what you've been up to, and some of the hustles that you've been, doing here in LA. It's Los Angeles, so it's a never-ending grind for some people, for some of us creatives here.
Yeah.
Let the people know a little bit about who you are, what you're up to here in LA. I know as Dazy Lyn, you've got your music and a couple other things that you're up to. You've got an album coming out, so let's talk a little bit about those things today.
Well, I'm a LA native. Born and raised in LA, K-Town and South Central specifically.
Okay.
I was born an artist, so my first talent was actually drawing.
Oh, wow.
I've always had an ear for music, so I've just naturally been tapped in since I was a little girl, and rap was always my favorite genre. Even though I'm open to all of them. I salsa dance. I'm very involved in all of the entire process of making music, so even though I don't make the beats, I'll be behind production a lot, or editing my videos, or things like that. So I'm very hands-on. I'm just very creative.
I like that. And for me, I feel like most of my life, especially in my Respect My Region career, has been surrounding myself with creatives, people that inspire me to bring out some of those talents that I have. I'm not a dancer, but I wiggle a little bit. You know what I mean? I was always grooving to a beat. I know Hoff will giggle at that because, I'm a little goofy. And I think part of that comes out in these forms of creativity for me, whether it's writing or these videos. I try to make it fun and entertaining and as best as I can. And music often is very much a focal point for that. When it comes to your artistry, your music, how do you want people to receive that? What do you want them to experience or feel or hear when they're on the receiving end of your art?
I want them to feel the same emotions that I used to feel when I would listen to, the greats back then, like Exhibit, Quick, Dre, the list is endless, but just passion, passion, and as it applies to me, like a message, because I feel like I was given a lot of pain throughout life. I think a lot of people are like that, but I definitely tap into that a lot, tap into my memories whenever I do rap.
You've lived in LA your whole life?
My entire life, yeah. I've never lived anywhere else.
The associating word of pain with LA, we hear about this LA struggle. For a lot of people that come to LA, I can only imagine what it's like to be from here, born, raised, living here your whole life. What is it like to be someone born, raised, living in LA your whole life, whether it's as a creative or just as a human, as a person?
Well, I think that, everyone has their own experience. Like some people are privileged and, they have this.
There's the hills and
they
some
have
parts
this
of West
certain
LA.
experience, and then I come from a very modest background, my parents struggled a lot, but they, one parent is still very much in the struggle. The other one, he made it through. So, yeah, it was tough,
You said Koreatown and South Central.
Yeah, Koreatown, South
What are all the
Central.
different areas that you've lived, or what are some of your favorites?
I've always lived off Western. So in elementary school, I was off of Western and 4th. Then came middle school, and it was Western and Olympic. And then after high school, it was Western and Vernon, around there.
Okay.
I did have divorced parents, so with my mom, I would live in other areas like First in New Hampshire, and then Melrose and Virgil at some point, you know. So it's always been very close, like a 20-mile radius.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like I always tell people, I never went past Florence, I never went past La Brea, I never went past Hollywood. Like I was just in this really small bubble. And to this day, really, I stay in that bubble still because I ain't got, like, I have no business in Glendale or West Hollywood or, you know, like I
Yeah, yeah.
just, like, what I'm gonna do over there, you know.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, you know, like I remember going to Glendale Galleria as a little girl. So when I did go to Glendale, it was over there, you know, but
Yeah.
super local. I'm super local.
Your bubble being so local, and even including a little bit of this area, we're not too far from Western.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like, how has that impacted your music? What has that been like? You know, do you find yourself with a certain editing style, or with your visuals, or maybe a vision for that kind of realm, or is it more on the music? Like, is it the beats? Like, has that had impact on that
I
side of
mean,
things for you?
definitely the beats, but you know what? I listen to a lot of East Coast rap too. So as influenced as I've been by my city and the West Coast, like I very much have
Yeah.
a lot of East Coast
I
influence as
got
well.
bars. When I listen to the music,
Okay.
even lullabies, I wasn't expecting. I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I mean, the word lullabies and a woman artist being on
Yeah.
there, I expected something probably a little bit more poppy than what I got, which did not have much poppiness to it at all.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
From the video being in the store environment, which is a classic like LA scene, but also too, if you think about it, that's a bodega is East Coast rap for a lot of people, right? And so it's like I saw those visuals, and then I was listening to the content and what you were saying and delivering, and it was like, okay, this isn't just the usual, women pop rap, style whatsoever.
No, no, I don't like none of that stuff.
I mean, there's
Like,
definitely a market for that, but I'm happy to hear
there
that
is.
you have your lane of what you
Yeah.
like, and you have the
Yeah.
vision for what you want to be creating. Is there a word to describe that style, or is it bars?
I mean, bars over bullshit, you know,
Oh, we like
like
that. Okay.
that's something that I say a lot, you know. I'm very intentional with a lot of shit, you know, like I can have fun, I can loosen up, and I am experimenting in that a lot more these days, now that I feel more comfortable in the studio. But I mean, to me, there's always a message, you know, and it's usually the beat that brings out the
Some
message.
intentional bars based on
Yeah.
the beat, the vibe.
Yeah, like if the beat it feels lovey or if the beat feels like it's about heartbreak, then that's what it brings out of me, you know.
That makes sense.
I just obey.
That's fire. Getting into some of the questions, which shout out to our producer here today and in the video team. We've got Alan here, we've got Hoff here. Big shout out to these guys. As a woman navigating both the music and beauty industries, which hair is your full time thing, right?
Yeah.
Those have different types of pressures. There's perceptions, that go with being a woman artist. I don't know anything about hair, so I'm just going to play the ignorant card. I don't know what that world is like, but I would just imagine competitive because there's a lot of people doing hair out there.
Yeah.
How do you hold space for you to still be your real, authentic person? Or are you just completely able to be yourself in both of those environments?
I'm just myself, and that's what's so easy about it. You know, I don't put any unnecessary pressure on myself to, just do anything other than what I can bring. You know what I mean? I don't claim to know it all, so I'm also a student of life. And I don't know, I feel like if I walk in anywhere and just be kind and treat people with respect, then I have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
You know, so that's just that's how I operate in life, and it's worked out for me. So I think that's why a lot of the times I'm very successful, because I feel like maybe somebody might not like my music, but they'll like me as a person,
Yeah.
and that'll still open a door.
And that right song can get anybody. You know what I mean? It could be that right beat, could be that, oh man, she's spitting something. It depends on the art, right? And what these people are. But I as a marketer, I always tell people, we got to know our audience.
Yeah.
And you're a rapper.
Yeah.
Right. So we're talking rap audience. We're
Yeah.
talking hip hop head, people that
Yeah.
want to hear some bars, some intentionality,
Yeah.
a message. I think is
Yes.
important. You clearly have some substance and a message that you want to get out, depending on the beat, as you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Have you ever had to go like super hard to switch up your approach?
No.
Like, have you ever had to like, or felt the need to do that? Has there been a beat that maybe you were like, okay, yo, I'm gonna have to chop this up real quick?
You know what's funny is I feel like when I first came out, I was really aggressive, like with my voice and the delivery, and even when I would rap, my like face would scrunch up, and I had a lot of just aggression, you know. And as time kind of went by, I noticed myself mellowing out a little bit. And I like it better. I like it better here. Like now when I hear my older stuff, I cringe a little bit, you know, I'm like, turn that shit off, you know, but.
It's like you don't want to Meek Mill yourself where the whole time you're yelling at somebody. And I was a Meek Mill fan for a long time, not to go on a tangent here, but that's a pigeonhole example that a lot of people in rap recognize, is that like for a long time it was bars, intentional bars. There's a great message in a lot of Meek Mill's music. But then it just became, even on the softer beats of the other stuff, we still felt like we were getting yelled at.
Okay. I don't really listen to Meek Mill like that, but I never felt like I was getting yelled at. The one that I feel like is yelling at me is 6ix9ine.
That's another good example. I would put those ones definitely in there. And
you know,
yeah,
and I'm
that
like,
aggressive.
damn,
it's definitely like aggressive.
But I mean,
rap.
it's a style that fits him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it fit me, you know, then I'd continue. But like when I look at it and I'm like seeing myself look so angry, I don't like it. I'm like, I like it when I'm smiling.
Yeah,
you know, I
that's
like
fair.
when I'm smiling and rapping and just being who I really am, you know. Because I mean I do have that aggression in me. I have it, but I'd rather smile, you know, and vibe. Like that's just
That's fair,
that's
that's
my
fair.
thing.
That is, I feel like it's West Coast energy to be a little bit more friendly and on that side for all of us. You mentioned that you were at Staples Center for a period of time, or the arena.
Yeah.
Are you a LA sports girl then?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
My first game was like playing at Staples Center,
wow.
like working there.
Okay.
And then I remember they were trying to find a place to put me at because I used to do security, right?
Okay.
And the places that they would put me at, it was perfect because I wasn't even interested in watching the game. I just didn't give a fuck.
Were you one of those people that's like secretly working on their music while you're there at the stadium?
Oh, I wasn't even doing music at that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
Just on the grind.
I was lost. I had no idea what I wanted to do. You know, I was just trying to make a buck, you know. So I was at Staples Center and I would be on TV a lot, you know, because my position was on the court, actually, right in the middle of the court. So I would be sitting there, people would send me pictures all the time. You just see my face looking all mean, looking into the crowd. Because, you know, so something about me is I'm a little psychic. Like, I don't know what it is, but the intuition is heightened. So I can look at a crowd and the energy will draw me immediately. Like I was so quick to put fires out. Like I remember I would sit there and I would scan the crowd because that's what we're supposed to do as security, right? Some people you catch them watching the game, but I would scan the crowd and I could feel something was wrong and I'd be like, where is it? Like something's off, and I'd scan, boom, I'd find it and I'd call it out. And like they would call me the eagle eye because I was just so good. I was so good. Like I'm on my toes, okay? Like y'all don't know who my dad is.
The heightened intuition.
Yeah, no, my dad just always kept me on my toes. Like I was just so alert, you know? So it grew up with me.
Has that bled into your music?
In every area of my life. Yeah, like you can't get one over me, you know, like I can seem very, I don't know what I seem like to people. I can just assume I'm kind, you know, but you can't play with me. Like I've been outside, you know, and I read people very easily and I'm very protective of myself. So yeah, I'm not easy to get one over.
Before we get over and gloss over what this episode is really about, which, well, it's partly you, but you have an album coming up.
I do.
Right? You got some music, you got some art that you've created. Let's talk a little bit about that project. Let's talk a little bit about what that body of work entails.
Okay.
What's the name?
LA Baby.
LA Baby.
Yeah.
All right. And how many songs? How many tracks?
There's 12 tracks.
12 tracks.
There's 12 tracks.
Who made them? Who made the beats?
Franco. His name is Franco, and he actually started off as my engineer. And the day that I met him, we got to talking, and he was like, oh, I actually make beats and I'm an artist myself, you know, like I'm not just an engineer, you know, and people say that all the time. And I was like, oh, well, let me hear something. And as soon as I heard him play his stuff, I was like, no way this came out of you, you know, like this is so crazy. And, you know, I was like, okay, just show me more beats. And little by little, we kept making music, and I was like, are we doing an album? Is this what that is? And he was like, yeah, I guess so, you know. So it's taken about a year and some change, but I got some really dope features on there. I have Mozzie, Havoc from Mobb Deep, the Yodis, Merkums, Zay, TK, he does some guitar, so I have some instruments on there too, you know. So
that's sick. So there's a combination of like digital production from Franco, and then a little bit of live instrumentation, and then some features
on one song. On one song. Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, because you know I'm actually really into like rock and stuff like that, so I wanted to add just a little bit of flavor in there.
That's dope. And Mozzie, I'm a Mozzie fan myself. Did you do these songs in the studio with them, or was this a digital transfer of
no
of the music?
Mozzie was in the studio with me. Havoc is in New York, so he had to send it over. The Yodi sent it over too. Cool. Merkums was in the studio. Zay was also in the studio. So was TK.
What were they like in the studio, and what were you like? What do you paint that picture for us? What was those experiences like for you?
Well, let me share the Mozzie story with you, because this one to me is just a very incredible story. So I was in the studio, and David Ali, who's a really good friend of mine, he's the one that let me use his studio. So David is Kehlani and Larry June's manager. So he lets me use his studio to make this album this last year and a half, right? And, you know, he sees me walk out, and he's like, hey, what's up with you? You know, like, show me what you've been working on. Stay a little longer. And I'm like, all right, I'm in the office, and, you know, I'm thinking it's just going to be me and him listening to it. He's like, play it for the office. And I was like, oh, shit, okay. So I play it loud, you know, and within 10 minutes of us being there, mind you, I normally go straight home after the studio. But he asked, so I stayed, and I'm playing my music. 10 minutes go by, and this group of people walk into the studio, and it's just energy. You could feel it, right? And I always say this, I was taught to be very polite, you know, and like considerate. Like when people are walking in and they're giving each other hugs and dabs and they're talking, you know, you lower the music so that they can hear each other, you know. But we're on some rap shit, you know, and from what I've learned, these motherfuckers don't turn this shit down for anybody. So I was fighting myself because I really badly wanted to turn it down so they could hear it. And I was like, no, fuck that. Like, none of these bitches would do that, you know? So I let it play. And it was super loud, and they're all talking, you know, and I was just kind of minding my business. And then David finally introduced me and Mozzie, and I was like, you know, I said my hellos, and he was like, this you? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, we working for sure. We gonna get one in.
That's dope.
And I was like, oh yeah, you know, hell yeah. And people say that all the time.
They do.
You know, so I was just like, yeah, of course, you know, and I didn't think too much of it. And we're sitting there, maybe having another 10-minute conversation. And he looks at me, he goes, so what's up? You gonna load one up or not? And I was like, oh, you for real? And I was like, okay, yeah.
Like, we're in the studio, like, what are we doing, right?
And then he was like, let me get on something, like an open verse that you got, you know? But the thing is, I didn't have one. All the open verses I had were meant for people, you know, like I made a specific song meant for the Yodis. I made another one meant for Merkums, meant for Havoc, you know? So I was like, damn, like, I don't have one that's open for him, you know? So I was just honest with him, and I was like, look, like, the stuff that I have that's open is already meant for someone, and like I could slide it to you, but I do have these other instrumentals that are open. And he's like, I prefer a full song that's already done, but you know what, fuck it. Let's hear it.
Okay.
So it was just me and him in the fire escape. It's crazy to
Damn.
me, just me and him. And I'm letting him hear some of the songs on my project. I probably played about 3 of them. And he finally chose an instrumental. He was like, that one, load it up. And he goes into the booth. I'm not even bullshitting. It was like 20 minutes and I had a full 16. Like it was just nuts. And it's a beautiful verse. Like it's so good and like just like heartfelt and like just deep, So
It's crazy how Mozzie can do that. He
Yeah.
has a very diverse style
He's
of
just passionate.
poetic,
Yeah.
passionate,
Yeah.
but then also
But he can have fun, too.
straight up gang shit sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I like his murder music. I like
Yeah.
and I like
Me-
his
me too.
poems. I like his gangster poems. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'll bump them both back to back.
Exactly.
On 2 different energies
Exactly.
and vibes.
Well, you'll love this song. I'm telling you, it's definitely one of my favorite songs.
I'm
off the
excited-
album.
I'm excited
It's
to hear
called
that.
This Time.
This Time.
Yeah, but so he does the verse, right, and at the time I was going through like a moment, like I was kind of like feeling out of it. I was waking up a little unmotivated, and that's really what kind of gave me that push. What happened that day, it just ignited a fire again, and I was just like, okay, God, like you got me, like, and it was like, I'm someone that loves to see signs. I see things all the time. I'm like, that's a sign from God.
Of course.
And just the fact that he walked in and he came up to me and was like, I'm giving you this verse, like that was just crazy. And I told him I loved your verse, and he was like, well, you brought it out of me. I heard what you were talking about. He's like, if you was on some ratchet shit, I could match it. And he was like, but I hear you. And he's like, I hear what you're saying, and this is what you get. And I'm like, bet, okay.
What do you feel like you learned from that entire experience? Like what do you take with that, or what have you taken with that since those moments?
I mean, what I always know to be true is I'm always at the right place at the right time. I'm always where I'm supposed to be. Especially these days that I'm so mindful about who I'm hanging out with. Like I just know that I'm always at the right time, right place, right time. So I don't doubt that God's always working in my favor. And that day, Maz even had a shirt that said God's child in the back of him. And I was like, wow, like this just...
You're getting your signs. You're getting your
This is
signs.
magic.
So you're mixing music with substance, art. You've got your hair, your a lot of creativity
A lot.
flowing within your
Yes.
being there.
Yes.
From the music perspective, where do you see yourself going? What do you want to do? What are some of the goals that you have?
I would love to just continue to put out music, collaborate as much as I can, go on a tour, whether like right now, what I would love is to open up for someone, right? Go on tour with them and like, perform some of my album joints and to someday have my own tour. I don't know
Yeah.
how long it'll take. All I know is that I've been moving quickly. Like I feel like I skipped the line a lot, just from things that I've seen and things that I've heard. Like I feel like as soon as I started, it was just go time.
What remind me of the start time? How long have you been
It's
doing
been
music?
3.5
Yeah,
years.
3.5, right? Yeah.
Yeah, my very first song I dropped November 11th. I forget what year it is, but 3.5 years ago. And by January, I was in New York meeting Sway, doing that overtime performance that you saw
Yeah.
on YouTube. And that was like crazy to me because he didn't know that I was new, like
Yeah, I saw that. I think I heard that he said something about he discovered you through Instagram or something like that.
Yeah. My producer, Stan the Man, for my first song, Chills, they have a relationship, so when he posted it, he caught wind of it. He saw it and, reached out to me and was like, yo, I would love to have you on my platform, come rap. But little did he know that I've never done that. I've
Yeah.
never been on a platform. I've never been in front of a camera.
I hope we get to do those raps one day, but we haven't integrated that into our situation here yet.
Oh, I'm
but,
sure
but soon
got
enough.
some great folks with you, you know, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll happen.
And what a platform, Sway too. What did that do for you in your career? Do you feel like was that
That
it was
opened
obviously validating,
very
right?
validating, and it opened a lot of doors for me because I got that cosign on my first hit,
Yeah.
you know, and like that really meant a lot to me, you know. So I don't know how like I don't know if Sway knows that, you know, but he definitely
The Sway effect.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely opened up a lot of doors for me. When I came back home, it was like I was hot, you know, like it was crazy.
That's funny. That's but not funny in a bad way. That's like that's the Sway
Yeah.
effect again. It's like when he has the big artists on there versus the up and coming artists. You know, the impact level obviously varies.
I mean,
right?
if he fucks with you, it's for a reason, you know. We've been seeing this dude on MTV and all these other platforms since the 90s. You know, he's got a lot of respect attached to his name. So what he says goes.
Come on, man. LA Baby coming soon. What's the release date for your project coming up?
August 29th.
August 29th. Where can people find it at? Where's this going to be?
All streaming platforms.
All streaming platforms, folks. Man, we got Dazy Lyn in the building. We're here
Yes.
at the Catalyst Consumption Lounge Hawthorne. I'm Joey J. Ping. It's been a great conversation. Daisy, do you have anything else for the people before we get you out of here?
Just tap in, follow my Instagram, DAZY_LYN. Like, it's so crazy the amounts of work that I put in to try to get followers, and like it's building little by little, but hit that fucking follow button, man. Hit that fucking follow
Support the
button.
grind, support the
Yeah.
hustle, man. Definitely tap in. We appreciate you guys for hanging out. I appreciate you for joining in here,
Yeah,
and coming
absolutely.
down,
Thank you.
getting to know you. I look forward to checking out the album. And for everybody watching, be sure to tap in. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. Joey J. Ping, Respect My Region, RMR TV. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.